So how did Family Man Season 2 fare? Was it a hit or a miss? Let's find out. Hello guys, I'm Mona Prince and today we're talking about The Family Man Season 2, written and directed by Rajan DK and Supan Verma, starring in the lead Manoj Bajpayee, and in Season 2 is accompanied by Samantha Kinini. We all have been patiently waiting for Season 2. It was supposed to come out in February, but they delayed it and now we finally got it in June. So let's get in the show. First, no spoilers for people who haven't seen the show yet. I would say if you liked Season 1 and enjoyed it, you'll definitely like and enjoy Season 2 too. But I know there are people who didn't like Season 1 at all, or it didn't work for them, and I would say if Season 1 didn't work for you, then Season 2 will also not work for you, but you can still give it a shot. As I have said previously also that this show is a pan-India show. Check out my video about that, and this season proved it, with almost 40% of the show was in Tamil. There were so many actors from Tamil industry and I was so happy to see that. I know a lot of people would be annoyed, to read the subtitles whenever people are talking in Tamil, but that's a great thing because they're forced to do it and they'll get exposed to this, and in future they'll watch other films too with subtitles. So in a way, the show's popularity forced people to watch things in subtitles, which is a great thing. And on this channel, I talk about so many South Indian films, ranging from Malayalam, Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, and exploring more Gujarati, Marathi, Bengali, and Assamese films. And if more people watch movies with subtitles because they don't know the language, better it will be. I think this season also sticks to the life of the agents who work undercover to protect the nation and we don't even know about them. The name of the show is Family Man. That this agent is a family man and what are the things he's doing, and he has to hide all of that from his family and how that is affecting his relationships. See, I think the show is really, really good, and according to Indian standards, it's amazing, but definitely it has issues. It's not perfect. I had problem with Season 1 as well as Season 2. And we'll dive into it. Now, one big issue I had this season was the technical problems. I don't think the budget was the issue. You have to blame COVID. The editing was not very crisp. There were a lot of continuity errors, too many unnecessary shots and camera angles. There was a lot of dubbing done over the scenes, which was very obvious to me that they have dubbed it later to change the context of the scene. And we all know that they delayed the show for some reason. Maybe Amazon just wanted to take time from the controversy with Tandav, but they have definitely made some changes from the original plan. Throughout the show, there are a lot of scenes where the camera just follows the characters, and I just want them to use a stabilizer, please. I got so many headaches while watching it because the camera is shaking so much I can't even focus what's happening on the screen. And there were a lot of scenes like that this season. Now guys, I'll be diving into the spoilers, so if you haven't seen the show, stop the video right now, go watch it and come back. Now before getting into the overall Season 2 review, I thought let's do an episode breakdown and talk about what happened in each episode and some issues I had, what worked, what were the really nice moments, and then I'll get into the overall gist of it. Before I continue guys, if you find value in the video, do hit the like button so the video reaches to more people. Also consider subscribing and hit the bell icon to get notification for new videos. Episode 1 was called Exile because Shrikant Tiwari has left Task and is doing a corporate job now. Also his wife is in exile because she has left her job and is at home now. It was quite obvious that they were using this corporate job to add comedy, but I think it didn't work that well for me and it was very stereotypical representation, very over the top. We don't right away get to what happened after Season 1, that cliffhanger we were left with, and we get to that very late into the episode. And I've seen that in other shows too, where they end previous season with a big cliffhanger and they don't address it directly at the start of the next season. I was not a big fan of what happened with the gas leak. Alright, some people died, some were in hospital, but they reached in time and the day was saved. And nothing really happened, Both the agents made it out. Okay, one is on wheelchair, but the other is all right now. Now the characters do have it on their mind, but overall it doesn't impact the plot at all or it changes the life of anyone. Basically, it didn't have much repercussions, which I was not a big fan of. Now I think in episode 1 I felt the most editing issues. It was too choppy. There were a lot of voiceover dialogues used to change the scenes and the meaning of it. And the first scene of the episode, it's done on that shaky cam and it gave me a headache. So episode 2 called Weapon. In this episode we get to see Samantha Kinini's character Raji. I felt technically the episode was way better than the first one. There was a drastic difference. In this episode, we get into the character motivations, what they're going through, what's happening with them. Both Shrikant and Suchi are in guilt over the things that happened in their life in Season 1. They try counseling too. We see what ISI is up to, manipulating everyone. And I think the best scene of the episode was Raji taking that man down. What an amazing scene. Episode 3, Angel of Death. We get more into the backstory of Raji. We follow her more in this episode. Again, did feel some technical issues were there. We see Shrikant and Suchi breaking off, and Shrikant will get back to task now. Episode 4 called Eagle. We get more of the family drama, and I'm not a big fan of the kids. I think both of them feel really, really off. I can see their acting, and I don't know, even in Season 1 they didn't work for me because it doesn't feel like they are their kids. They can say anything, can do anything. There's no strictness from the parents. Like, is this an Indian family? Okay, I'll not generalize it. Maybe there's a family like this exist, but that's not, a normal thing to see. But as a viewer, considering, oh, this is supposed to be a normal family in India because he's a family man, he's a normal person with a normal family. The family is not normal at all. The whole romance of the daughter, very irritating character. Her dialogues and everything, like it all comes out as so privileged. I don't know if they were intending that, but she was just very irritating. We see both Srikanth and Suchi on their jobs. There's nice banter going on with, JK and other officers in Chennai. For the first time, Raji meets Srikanth when they meet each other in the alleyway. We get to know about the plan of the terrorist with the plane and everything. And the episode ends with Srikanth and JK getting caught by the police. Episode 5, Homecoming. Again, the whole jail scene felt very forced. Comedy didn't work for me there. JK was totally out of line. Didn't make any sense why he's, arguing. They could have handled it so easily, but didn't make any sense to me. We see both Suchi and Srikanth struggling at their job, Suchi with Arvind feeling uncomfortable there and all of that going on. Still don't know what happened in Lonavala. Shajit and Raji go get the C4 from the island, and in London the chief goes underground. Episode 6, Martyrs. We get a big chase sequence, then finally we get a confrontation between Srikanth and Raji. And again, Srikanth is on his tricks, telling a false story, but Raji catches him. Love that scene. And also get to know her backstory. I love that we don't go in the flashbacks. Instead, it's just her delivering the dialogues. We get the first one scene sequence in season 2. Again, very well done. It was really, really good. A lot of people died, and we also lost Milind in this. And then we get a very emotional scene with Srikanth when he tries to call Suchi and is unable to say anything and he cries. I think for everyone that will be a standout moment in season 2. Shaji executes his plan, getting the daughter kidnapped. We all saw that coming from miles away. The shaky cam was back and gave me a headache again. Episode 7, Collateral Damage. This was a nice episode. The daughter gets kidnapped. We get some moments with the terrorist also, with Shajit and Raji, when she has that wound and fever. Suchi's upset that she doesn't know where her daughter is, that she was distracted, didn't look after her. Episode 8, Vendetta. She can't come back to Mumbai to find her daughter. And in Chennai, Muthu and JK goes to the airstrip, which became one of the most stupid scene for me. Like, come on. You have done so many illegal things out there. And you'll not, check this area because you don't have a warrant. There's just one guy there. Like, who cares? What will he do alone? Just check it now. Like, it again, in season 1, I had this problem in the last episode where they go to that chemical factory and, come on, you're police. You use this power everywhere. And when it matters the most, you're like, no, we'll wait for permission and everything. Like, come on. They would have easily, there was just one guy. If it was in public, there were people around, I understand, okay. You get to get warrant and everything. It was empty. There was just one guy. You're 4 of them. Just go. Like, come on. That was so stupid. And over that, JK doing that. The same guy in the jail who was making scene out of this small thing. And he's the one telling him, no, we should get a warrant. Come on, yeah, that was so stupid. I think in the later episodes, I was not happy that there was very less Samantha in the show. And with the kidnapping thing, I felt the focus was diverted to that. We didn't even care about what's happening in Chennai anymore. Now Srikanth is looking for his daughter. They are trying everything. Love the things he told to her daughter on the phone. Everything about love and everything, that can save you. There were some comedy moments, when he was talking to all the classmates. All of them using some hi-fi English words. And he has no clue what's happening. And oh my god, didn't expect that moment, from the daughter. She was so irritating till now. But that moment when she stabs him with that, oh my god. That was so unexpected. I'm like, oh wait, what happened? Oh shit, things got real. That was brutal, very well done. I thought she'll escape, but no, they are there and I don't know what will happen now. And in Chennai, JK, we don't know, maybe he's gone, he's not. It's left hanging. Now the finale, episode 9, the final act. We get to the climax, Shaji is killed, daughter is saved. We are back to Chennai where JK is also saved, nothing happened to him. Then they are on the hunt to find the plane and Raji. And they find her, they stop the plan, destroy the plane. And at the end they get medals and everyone go home. And we'll talk about the ending mode. So let's talk about the whole show. I think Srikanth is a character, right? He is not a typical hero, who will save the society. He will save the day, but he'll not change the system of the society, It's not about that. He's not that massy hero. His job is to only do his duty and save the nation. That's it. And there are a lot of dialogues in the show where he says, his duty is to protect the nation. It's not about protecting the politician, but that position of prime minister. That's very important to the nation. And he keeps his things very simple. All his ideologies, what he thinks about is out of the window. His only duty is to save the nation from all the threats. So he's not the quintessential hero we have always seen in our movies. One thing I've really liked in Family Man is that, they go into the gray area and still show the gray sides of everyone. It's not binary, good or evil, white and black. It's not like that. Things are gray. Things are murky. And we see all that layers, we go deep understanding Srikanth and his character and what he's doing, and we also go deep into the terrorists, why they are doing that, the rebels, what are their motivations and everything. And I like that we explore both the sides. We also see, people in power don't care anything about what's happening on the ground, how people are losing their lives. They only care about their ego. Definitely the show is commercial. Some things are there to, make it entertaining. There are dialogues which will entertain us, make us laugh. I think this season there was less comedy and most of it didn't work for me. One issue I have with the show is that there are a lot of cheap thrills. They want to, thrill us, but it is not really a thrill. I think the whole season 1 ending, we all thought, oh my god, what will happen? They lost, Delhi will be gone, something like that. But they just, okay, nothing really happened, everyone was saved. Like, again, it was a cheap thrill. See, as a spy series, this show has definitely, made a benchmark. Any other spy show, will be compared to this. And it is a really good show, but it has its issues too. We see a lot of death in this show, left, right, any action scene, people are dying. And that's all right, that can happen. But the problem is all this death is never tackled or talked about in the show, that we are losing all these people. It's like, oh yeah, they died, let's move on, Maybe that's the point of the show, that we don't even care about people dying around us, and we know now what's happening around. We have become numb to it. Maybe that's intended, but I do feel there's too much death and they never talk about it. Now, Raji, played by Samantha Kineni, amazing performance by her, a very well written character. But my issue with the character is it's very inconsequential. If you remove her character, right, if you replace the character with anyone else from the Rebels who can fly a plane, nothing really changes, The show remains the same, nothing really changes, the plot is intact. But if you go in season 1, if you remove Musa's character, a lot of things can change. Musa was a main player in everything. We started season 1 with him. Then the whole hospital thing. The whole plan Zulfikar was by him, And then plan B also he executed. So he was the main player. Now in season 2, I'm not saying they should have repeated a character like that. But here, Raji as a character is really well written. We see a lot of things with her, Things she has faced in her past. Things she still faces. Because she has to hide, she cannot do anything when in the bus someone is touching her. But later, she takes him out. And we see how so many men try to use her because they have upper hand on her. So as a character, it's a very well written character. Performed very well. But doesn't really do anything in the plot. And I think that was a big issue for me. I think Shahjid had a bigger part to play, He planted the bomb in the first place, outside the code in episode 2. Which started all of this. He got the daughter kidnapped. He helped with the plane, make the detonator. So if he is not there in the show, if you remove that character, things will not work out. So you need him. And at the end, of course, the plane never flew, right? Nothing really happened. So it really didn't change anything. Now the show tried this interesting thing, that Srikanth Sort is in danger as well as the nation. Who will he choose? But that is never pitched against each other. He goes, saves his daughter, come back, saves the nation. There's no conflict. And I wish there was conflict. There were some cool moments, when, he saves his daughter and he's still thinking about Chennai, and the other guys asking, how can you even think about it? Take care of your daughter. But he's someone who will think. But I wish, they would have made it daughter versus the nation. That would have been more interesting. And, the conflict would be really better. The stakes would be higher. But that didn't happen. Now, Chellam was a really cool idea, a cool concept they used. Oh, there's this guy, who knows everything. You can just contact him. He uses different phones. He's very paranoid. Very interesting character. I would like a spin-off series on him. But in terms of telling a narrative, it felt like a lazy tool. That whenever you need the plot to go ahead, oh, just call him and he'll tell you things and just get it done. It literally feels like that. Whenever they were, don't know how to go ahead, what to do now, oh, call him, done. That's it. I think that was very lazy. Coming to the climax, I felt it was not that exciting. Because, somewhere in my mind, I knew that plane is going nowhere. They don't have that VFX budget to do that, do a whole air sequence. They did something and it was executed well, but I knew they would win this. Unlike the first season where oh my god, oh, they lost, what will happen now? Because we see gas getting leaked, they lost. But here it was quite obvious, oh, the mission will be failed and they'll win, and the stakes weren't that high. And even the whole one take thing there in the finale was okay. Sometimes you overdo things, it loses its charm. And I think that's what happened. I may sound like, oh, I didn't like anything, I'm just, talking crap about the show. It's not that. I like the show, but this is all constructive criticism. I want season 3 to be better. I'll be looking forward to it. But there are issues and I want to talk about it. Now we end the show with, what happened in Lonavala. Suchi is finally gonna tell Srikanth and we cut. We don't know what happened. And then we make a time jump that COVID has happened. So season 3 will happen after the pandemic. That means in the show also pandemic happened. So that would be really interesting, and I think that's a cool and smart move, setting the next season with the COVID and pandemic. And in season 3, we'll go to the Northeast. We'll get to know all the things there, what's happening. And I think in a sense, the show has been very educational. You know, first season we go to Kashmir and what's happening there. This season we'll go to Tamil Nadu and the whole Sri Lanka thing. And in the next season, we'll get to know more about the North situation, what's happening there. So I think that's a really cool feature that, you know, the show is very educational in that sense. Acting wise, I think everyone was superb. Love that they casted so many people from Tamil Nadu. They're talking in Tamil. Nothing really felt off, you know. People are talking English, Tamil, whatever language they were supposed to, and it felt authentic. And kudos to, you know, Raj and DK, Amazon, the actors. It's a really fun show. Really interesting. You know, when I watched those 9 episodes, I'm really enjoying. Definitely, you know, there are issues and I pointed them out, and it is supposed to be constructive criticism. You know, I'm not trying to shit on the show or hate on it unnecessarily. These are all the points I felt, you know, and we can always discuss about them in the comments. So guys, that's the video. If you like this, hit the thumbs up button, share this video, let me in the comments your thoughts. If you haven't subscribed yet, check out the videos, and if you like them too, do subscribing, and I'll see you next time. Stay home, stay safe.